What's up, gang? It's your boy Allende coming to you from Authentic Alphas once again. So, again, y'all been messaging me about this Brittany Renner interview with DJ Academics and Fresh and Fit. So, obviously I got to comment on it at some point. Been a little bit busy, but yeah, I'm definitely going to go ahead and give you my commentary on it. Give you my opinion on it or whatever like that. But just a heads up, there ain't gonna be no bashing of them Fresh and Fit boys. They doing their thing, it's all good. But I'm definitely gonna get some insight. So let's just let's see the clip and let's see what's up.
Because you said that you warn guys about girls like me, so tell me about girls like me.
Just
Humor
women
me.
in general. Like, I mean,
well, no, don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here
This was an off-camera conversation.
that you did say that
That's true.
You warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the key.
I'm not special.
Like,
so
you're like other women that are
So
like,
what makes you special then?
I never said I was.
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel? I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does that make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me, right? If I insult you, or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable, what does that do for me? No, but that doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying, what if I call you? If I just say that again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it. Right? That's how I feel.
Shit. Let me first start off by saying I am a little disappointed. I think that interview could have definitely been a lot more meaningful. It was a fabulous opportunity to have an interesting discussion with Brittany, man. I think Brittany is actually really smart. I mean, she's very controversial, man. But like I said, I'm disappointed. I think it was a missed opportunity to say something meaningful and have a very interesting dialogue, as she is an interesting character, to say the least. I definitely don't agree with her about the studio being whacked. The setup of their studio is awesome. So I'm not sure if she actually really meant that, but and I do think that there definitely would have been some value in her being on the Fresh and Fit, but maybe there wouldn't have, because I don't see much value in this interview, to be honest with you, man. I think they definitely didn't take advantage of that. But what I am gonna do is first just go ahead and show you guys some footage that you've never seen on my channel of the only time that I've ever discussed Brittany Renner, which was actually accepting an invite on the Pascal Show to kind of give my thoughts on her and PJ when she, first had the baby and, finessed him for that child support or whatever. But let's check that out, and then, we'll come back and chop it up a little bit more on what's happening.
And just getting to know about this gooey goodness called the Pascal Show, please crush that subscribe button, nuke it. Hit it so hard you break the screen of your phone. All right. Crush that subscribe button. That'd be really, really appreciated. All right. So, of course, we got to get into the conversation. We got to get into this situation right here as we speak. But we do have somebody very, very special. We have two very special people on with me today. All right. I have Ayindei and I have Trezia, if I'm correct, right? Trezia?
Yes, it's correct.
Trezia.
Hey, okay?
Yes, I can hear you just fine, man. Good evening to both y'all. Good, man. Good. Trezia, just so I know, where are you from originally?
In Mexico City.
Right on. You're Mexican. Right on. Thank you so much for jumping on and being a part of this very
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on this very interesting conversation that we are about to be having here very, very shortly. So we got to talk about this whole situation with Brittany Renner, PJ Washington. Okay, so Ayindei knows a little bit about this, but Trezia, do you know anything about this whole situation with PJ Washington and Brittany Renner?
Well, I think she only wants the money.
Okay, so you know what's going on. All right, bet. So here's the thing, okay? So there's a situation to the family as well, to the fam. There's a situation that's been going on as of recently revolving around the relationship that PJ Washington had with Brittany Renner. Now, apparently people are saying, that she finessed him, got him to get her knocked up so that she can secure this bag. I mean, we're looking at, I think if I'm correct, something along the lines of $200,000 a month in child support that he has to pay Brittany Renner. Now, she's gotten a whole lot of backlash over this ish, a whole lot of backlash. All right. And recently, as of, I think 4 days ago, she came out with a video. We got to take a look at it. Let's check it out.
To hear this, but stand your ground. It's sacred. So when you stand your ground, you stand in your truth. When you stand in your truth, you stand in your power. And when you stand in your power, I'm to a place where I've just accepted that my light is so bright that it causes all of the roaches to scatter in places they thought they could hide. It's just me being me. It just causes such an uproar. Like, loving yourself is such a rebellious act these days, you know? But I'm here to tell you, I am so not sorry.
Okay, so there you have it. There's the video in itself. This is her response to all the backlash she's been getting lately, y'all, because she scooped up a bag. She finessed the dude. He was young, a young kid, just fresh out of college, or she was actually talking to him while he was in college, making a name for himself as PJ Washington. He signed some deal, went off to play. She kept her hooks in that bee, okay? She kept her hooks up in that dude, finessed him to, do the deed, bring a child into the world so she could, and now everybody's thinking the baby is just so she can secure the bag. And this is her response to all of this backlash. So, Ayindei, I gotta know what you think about this whole situation. What are your thoughts on this, bruh?
Well, first and foremost, let me start by saying that the Jezebel spirit is in full effect. Before we get into it, the most frightening part of this is that she has over 4 million followers. And I can guarantee you that majority of them are young, impressionable girls that are modeling themselves after this predatory strategy to basically secure the bag. And what she did is actually, it's actually a classic strategy. But what she did is she did the, how can I say it? Normally, the way this would work when the father is in the household and the mother and the father are married and that relationship is intact, is that the parents would encourage the daughter to go to college to scout for a husband. That's how women first started coming to college. Plenty of women are going to want to argue that, but the reality is when parents were encouraging their daughters to go to college initially, it was to find husbands and to find them early before they graduated so they could basically sink their claws in. So the difference in what she's doing is that there's no longevity in it. She basically is praying mantising the dude. She didn't actually go to college, but she started scouting him while he was in college.
Word.
And instead of marrying him and staying with him and basically extracting the resources, what she did was praying mantis him and just took the resources along with the child. So she basically just kind of tweaked an older strategy and just did it in a little bit more of a disingenuous way. But let's be for real. Women have been doing this for many, many, many decades. They've been scouting guys early, seeing the potential and saying, all right, I'm gonna get him to marry me, and I'm gonna be able to lay back and enjoy the lifestyle that this elite dude can provide, basically.
You know what to me, it feels a little bit more like it's not, I mean, it is part of what she's saying, but to add the sprinkles on top and the cherry on top to this whole thing is the evil laugh that she's doing throughout the entire thing, like she's like this wicked witch of the West type thing. It's so weird. I don't get it. And for me, when I look at that, it just makes me feel rotten to the core. And then on top of that, her sitting there saying, oh yeah, my light is so bright that it just, it scatters all over where the cockroaches go to crawl out to hide out.
Different type of light, though, brother.
Say again, what?
She's talking about different type of light. She's talking about that Luciferian light. Is what she's talking about.
Word. Trezia, what are your thoughts on this? Speaking from a female perspective, do you think that this whole situation with PJ Washington and all that, is it giving women a bad look right now?
Yes, I think yes, because I think women don't need to do that. I don't know. I won't do that. I don't know. My English is not as good as.
No, we understand.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great. I mean, here it is. Then you are one of the many, because I'm not going to sit here and say that there are not great, amazing, well thought women out there. You see what I'm saying? In no way, shape, or form am I here trying to bash women in general, but there are a certain type of woman.
You warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
So the most disappointing part for me is the fact that she straight up asked Myron, like, what is it about me that you're telling young boys to avoid? So I'm gonna look at it from this aspect. I wish to God that was me being asked that question. I would have had a phenomenal dialogue and conversation with Brittany, respectfully, of course, because that's how you're gonna get the most out of her. But hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I would have said to her, because I already said it on the Pascal Show, and this is pretty much exactly what I would have said to her.
You gotta understand, it's a sport for her, and basically this is her champion's season. You know, she's tried things like this many times with other celebrities, and they saw her for what she was, and they just went ahead and got their ride, and they went about their business. But this time she caught somebody that was young and impressionable, and I think what she realized is that she needed to pace herself. I really think she looks at this like a sport, like a profession. And I think she went back and she watched the tape, and she said, this is where I messed up with Trey Songz. This is where I messed up with Kaepernick. This is where, you see what I'm saying? I think she kind of said, all right, this is I got to get a guy that has less experience. I got to get a guy that's young and impressionable, and I have to take my time with it. I have to pace it. So she probably really convinced this guy that she actually liked him. She probably got him to feel sorry for her in certain ways. And he's making a mistake for the first time around. It happens. What I want to know is, where was the guidance? Where was his father? Where was his mentor when he was getting set up?
You want to know something? This is my thought here, okay? And so give me a second here, because I feel like when you are 18 years old, right? You're playing ball, you're doing your thing, you're kicking ass, taking names, you're making a name for yourself, right? You see this woman that has dated some big names out there, right? You're 18 years old. You're not NBA status yet. You are NBA hopeful, but you're not there yet. But you see this girl, and she's smiling at you and all that. You see her IG and all that stuff. You get blinded by the light. You get blinded.
She probably has more followers than him. I'm sure she has more followers.
So when you see something like that, you're going, oh my God, this girl's so fine, blah, blah, blah. So you got all these men that are probably not used to that kind of attention, that are also, lighting him up, gassing him up, saying, hey man, this girl's fly as hell. Congratulations, yo. Damn. I've been watching her IG since day one. You see what I'm saying?
She cleans up well.
Yeah. I mean, she's in covers of magazines. She does photo shoots, all that stuff. She looks good on camera.
But I can't feel sorry for him. I mean, the chick wrote a book. She wrote a book about all the celebs that she slept with. I mean, this isn't public knowledge. You shouldn't want a girl that's been passed around at all, let alone a girl that's been passed around with a bunch of celebs. So I think he should have known that was out of his league. And I mean, I'm pretty sure she'd even give him the opportunity to smash and dash. I think she really set him up slow. I think they were probably dating and hanging out. He wasn't getting no butt, and she was setting him up for the fall. And I mean, it's obvious now, because as soon as she married him, she took the baby and bounced. So she invested on the front end, because you got to look at it from her perspective. In her mind, she earned this money because she invested more in him than she's probably ever in any other man. Just based on the just on the time frame. And like I said, she did all of that on the front end. And then as soon as she had that baby, she said, all right, I got it. It's time to go. The meal ticket is signed. That money's coming regardless. And I mean, we're having this discussion because I want to just basically throw around, some ideas and get some insight and look at it from a non-biased perspective. I don't really care about him as an individual or her as an individual. What I want to focus on is the Jezebel spirit and how it's becoming far too popular and accepted. And what that's going to do is it's going to ruin our women on a whole, because you're going to have a whole generation of women coming up with this mentality, and it's glorified, and it's very intentional is what I want people to understand. This is not an accident or mistake. These women are engineered. They're socially engineered. The Kim Kardashians, all these women, the elites know exactly what they're doing. This, you can find this in the Bible, so you already know this is a tale as old as time. And this persona has been with us probably as long as man has been writing. Since we've been writing on tablets till now, this type of energy, this type of woman has existed, and some of the greatest men in history have been brought down by this type of entity. So we need to really be careful with this and identify it for what it is. It's not really about Brittany; it's about the Jezebel spirit. And shout out to the Coach Gang, man. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams, because I've heard a lot about the Jezebel spirit, but I know he's up on it too, and I kind of use his praying mantis phrase, so I got to give him credit for it.
It's very true. I feel like what really sucks about this even more is that she has 4 million plus followers on her IG. She's got her own YouTube channel and all that. She's written books. And what's crazy is that there is an audience out there that is willing to consume that, or are also looking at her and fantasizing about these opportunities, which is really, really sad as well, and shouldn't be right. The fact that she is going in, found this kid like he's a stock. She found him, started investing her time, maybe a little bit of money, but mostly her time, right? Then as soon as she got the baby, she cashed out and walked out the damn dough. You see what I'm saying? So what sucks is that this is the kind of mentality that is being shot out here, put out into the zeitgeist as something as the norm, that it's okay. The fact that she is sitting there going on her videos, and now she's getting trolled really hard. I know she's getting roasted really hard on that particular video right now, because you know what? I do believe that we do live in a world where the good will always overcome evil. That's just what I think. That's why she's getting such negative backlash, because people are seeing this and going, that ain't right. What she's doing and what she said is wrong. And she just exposed her ass. Real talk. It was like she did the villain talk, the villain monologue before she gets caught. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. And she just exposed her own ass, and she showed what her intentions were within that video. But Trezia, I got to ask you, as far as looking at that video, I know that you know that it is that she was there for the money, right? But as far as a woman who is watching this and hearing men like myself and Allende talking about this, what do you say about this? What do you think in regards to that?
Did not get in love with him. I think you can have both things. The money and love, maybe. I think, she did not love him.
Yeah, they could have had a beautiful family and a beautiful
life with
lifestyle.
him.
Yeah,
I think that.
Yeah.
Personal opinion.
Yeah.
Not getting in love with him.
Right. I do believe that there's a possibility. I think that, I mean, maybe I'm old school, or I still believe in those fairy tale ideas, but I do believe that you can still love somebody. You can still love somebody and make money and make a lot of money. I do believe that. I believe that you can make
think she's past
seven figures and have great sex with somebody that you actually can tolerate or are actually deeply in love with. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, Ayinde.
I just think she's past that. You know what I mean? I think that she's had far too many partners. I think she's been used and discarded far too many times. I think part of her feels that she deserves this because of what other men have done to her. And I think that she's just, she's had a life of a lot of abuse. I mean, listen, this is something that isn't spoken about. It's not touched on, but it's a reality. Majority of beautiful women, gorgeous women, they were very cute girls. And when they grew up without fathers, which is the majority of them, they were taken advantage of. They were preyed on. I mean, let's face it, there's 360, how many days in a year? So from the age of 12 to 18, if you really think that all of the sexual encounters that young girls had were like consensual and they were appropriate and they were with guys that were age appropriate, I really doubt that. I think that when girls are very, very attractive and they're young and they don't have a father figure, they don't have a father to protect them, I think they're vulnerable. And I think they have so much time. It's just a matter of time before somebody gets to them. Somebody touches them. Somebody does something. And it's really downhill from there. And it's just something that we don't speak about. But I do speak to women like that. And there was a time in my life where I really just started surveying. And I was like, wow, the amount of women that have opened up and told me that they were molested, that they were touched on, whether it be someone in the school, someone in the family, uncles, stepfathers, whatever the case may be. The point I'm trying to make is you got to think about this realistically. If a woman is beautiful, she didn't become beautiful a year or two ago. She was cute when she was 11. She was cute when she was 12. And there are a lot of creeps out there. So, girls like her, when they end up in strip clubs or in the sex industry doing porn, OnlyFans, all these type of things, really their thought process is somebody has already taken this from me. So if I can get paid for it now, on my terms, in their mind, that's a win. You understand what I'm saying? Because they've already been exploited that way. And to me, she just fits that protocol. She just seems to check all the boxes of the women that I've spoken to that have told me these type of experiences in their youth.
Absolutely. I think when it comes to it, it's like, I think we live in a time where, we still do. I mean, we've always been living in this time where aesthetics go a long way, right? If you are conventionally beautiful, if you check all the boxes of what is in the confines of what beauty is, then you do fine. But at the same time, I do think that you can still be a beautiful person on the outside, but just rotten to the core on the inside.
Oh yeah, and that's what it is. Yeah.
And those intentions that you might have, doesn't matter. If you have those wrong intentions, then you got something. You really need to find something. You know what I mean? You really need to start talking to somebody, find faith, something. Well, because at the end of the day, it's only going to your true self is only going to come out. Your true self is only going to be shown in the light, like this particular video. And she has other videos too where she's showing her ass, like she really is showing, not physically showing her ass, but actually showing her true self. And it's disgusting. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I really think to her it's a sport, man. She plays it like it's a game, and right now she feels like she's an MVP. And I mean, no matter what we say or what anybody else says, right now she's paid. Okay, only less than 7% of the population can make $200,000 a year. She's looking at $200,000 a month. So it don't matter what your opinion is, man. She is laughing all the way to the bank. I'll tell you that right now. But I think when you're dealing with women like that, if you were to show them love, if you were to show them real understanding, forgiveness, compassion, all those type of things, they would run for the hills, man. She doesn't know what that looks like, and that's gonna frighten her. That's gonna scare her. So the saddest part though, she took the man's child. I mean, money aside, she took the man's child, and that's that's screwed up because it's a new life. You know what I mean? That kid is innocent, and already it's starting off on a bad foot because it's bad enough that kid's not gonna have the father in his life. But then look at the type of mother that he's going to be reduced to being raised by. And it's a matter of time before he's literate. Once he's literate, somebody puts that book in his hands. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. I think that I agree with what you just said in the very beginning. The saddest part of it all is that she is holding the baby hostage, basically. She's dangling the baby right in front of him like a carrot, so she can get what she wants. And I just don't know how somebody like that can live with themselves. That's just my personal opinion. How do you live like that? How can you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror every day, knowing that that's what you're doing with the child and with the person that made that child with you? But Ayinde,
I think that she really feels like the world has mistreated her. Men have mistreated her. And, right. I think she feels that she's entitled. I think she feels like she took, what? Because this is the thing you gotta understand. You know how you have that term like dick envy?
Yes.
I believe that a lot of women do resent men for having certain potential. And you also have to understand when it comes to women, the way their brains are set up, they only notice the men that they're interested in. So what happens is they're looking at 20% of the population acting like that represents all men. So in her mind, she's like, screw him, because he can just go play a game. He can go play with a ball. He can literally go play with a ball and make millions of dollars.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of women that actually resent men for having those areas in life where they can excel to that extent. And it's like, what would a woman have to do to be able to match that? You look at how many players we have in the NBA. You ain't got that many Kim Kardashians. You don't have that many women. And it's like, look how they have to make the money. They have to make the money exploiting their sexuality, or they have to be the biggest actress you've ever heard of. And we already know that involves the casting couch. So I think a lot of women hate the fact that at the end of the day, no matter what industry you're talking about, there's a man that's the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is a man. So whether you want to be in movies, you want to be in the music industry, whatever you want to be, it's going to require your sexuality, and you're probably going to have to pay that ticket price. And we know what that ticket price is. So I think a lot of women are very hateful and resentful because of that. And when they do destructive things like this, they don't feel guilt or remorse, because they feel like, you know what? I've been hurt. I've been taken advantage of. I've been exploited. So what if I do it to a man?
Yeah, that's a good theory. That's definitely a good theory. I mean, yes, men do have a lot more access to making more money in many, many different genres of work. Like I said, somebody can throw a ball, dribble a ball, and they could, like you just said, scoop a couple billion bags with ease. But that is something that's is building on the women's side as far as like the WNBA and the sort. So you definitely have a point there.
If they ever pay female athletes what they pay male athletes,
hail to the no.
You got to gift it to them. They're not earning it. Let's be for real. They're not selling no tickets.
Not yet, at least, right? Okay, we'll see. Maybe in time. Maybe in time. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, women don't even want to see women play sports.
Right. I gotta.
I want to see women play sports, bro.
Well, I mean, people still watch women do gymnastics. People still watch track and field. Women doing those sports and those things. So I want to give you an example. Like that going. Real quick, hold that thought. I got a super chat I want to do really quick because it's been sitting on the screen for a while. Thank you, Jesse Williams, for the $2 super chat. It really does mean a lot. And this is for you, Ayinde. He says, I'm glad brother Ayinde is getting this exposure. Boom. Thank you so much, Jesse Williams, for the $2 super chat. Okay, you were saying, my brother.
Yeah, I don't remember the young lady's name, but there was a female NASCAR driver, right? She was beautiful. She was hot. And the crazy thing is, I think she was like in a top 8 or something like that. She wasn't like winning, but she was still up there. She was doing pretty damn good for a racer, regardless of gender. And the crazy thing is, she retired from racing and decided to do OnlyFans. She made more money on OnlyFans than she made as a NASCAR racer. This is like, hey, man, I get it. It's tough. You cannot escape where their value lies. Unfortunately, their value lies in their looks, man. It is what it is.
Danica Patrick, the blind archer, Danica Patrick. Yeah. And what sucks is that, unfortunately, sex sells, and we of course put the female figure or form way up on a pedestal. I mean, if this guy was like a Tyson Beckford type, you know what I'm saying, and he said, "Oh, I'm doing an OnlyFans," everybody would flock. But if it was just some regular dude,
he's actually a good friend of mine, Tyson
Washington. If PJ Washington went up and said, "Yo, I'm doing an OnlyFans," ain't nobody going to that. I'm just
no. Tyson Beckford couldn't even do OnlyFans right now.
You know what I mean? So it's
nobody cares.
So there's the yin and the yang. You know what I'm saying? But Ayinde, thank you so much for jumping on. I know you got some things to do, so I'm going to let you go now. But I appreciate you. Can you tell everybody where they can go follow you or go hit that subscribe button at?
Yeah, man. Come over to Authentic Alphas. Come check us out. We got a bunch of things going on real soon. I'm collaborating with so many damn people, man. All these young, talented black guys in the manosphere right now. We're all supporting each other. That's what we're standing by right now. That's one of my goals I've had for many years. And who would have thought that I'd be in a position to actually push that agenda? But right now, we want to see the black manosphere come together and support each other as young brothers trying to make a difference. So support us in that.
Yeah, man. So guys, go Authentic Alphas. Go crush that subscribe button over there when you get some time. All right. But again, Ayinde, thank you so much for being on. I really do.
Right. Thanks for having me, man.
Trezia, nice to meet you as well, sweetheart.
Me too.
Enjoy Mexico, brother.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
So
Peace.
I'm going to go ahead and just end this with not if, but when I finally do get to speak to Miss Renner, I guarantee you guys it is going to be very interesting. And what I've always thought is missing from this space is a healthy, conversation between men in the so-called manosphere or whatever you want to call it. and women in general, whether they be other content creators, whether they be celebrities, or whether they just be, you know, everyday, you know, women. I always thought that's what was missing. That's what I wanted to bring to that space, and I feel like it still isn't being offered. So trust me, I'm on it. I'm gonna be the person to offer it, and Brittany Renner is definitely one of those personalities that I would love to get in the chair and pick her brain. So I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna leave you guys with a couple more clips, and I'm gonna go ahead and let my boy Meaty Ochre Tutorials say it, because I don't feel like saying this shit anymore. All right, guys, I'm out.
Here's the thing. We've always said it, like, men and women, we're very different. We have opposing goals. Like, girls are trying to, you know, get resources, time, attention out of guys. Guys are trying to get sex. And girls, a lot of the time, are trying to get what they need to get out of dudes without necessarily giving it up. And some girls are good at it, some girls aren't. And then there's other girls that are kind of models for that are good at finessing dudes. And not to say that you're a finesser, I ain't saying that, but girls are able to, you know, run laps around a lot of guys. And that's why our podcast exists, to help dudes out to understand, like, how women operate and how they move.
What Myron just did there is explain the surface level kind of entertainment value of the show, but let's get behind the lens of that. Average women today will waste an average guy's time way more often than the vice versa. And in turn, it's made a lot of modern men today resentful towards women. That's why if you look at what Fresh and Fit is doing, like if you get down to the psychology layer of it, a Frank Castle, for example, can be viewed as retribution for what guys have been feeling for a long period of time. So it presents like this negative feedback loop where guys can become resentful, and there's a lot of information that's shared, but the numbers get done on the Frank Castling type streams, and they can't keep their eyes off of this as a sense of retribution for what they might have experienced in the field. And they keep returning and returning again based off of that dynamic. Now, it's not to say that you should accept disrespect from those that come on, but I mean, you continue to have a loose invite system because you know that those turn up the numbers. But a key question to ask, and this is not necessarily for Fresh and Fit because they're going to absorb the increase of the dollars of the extra entertainment that comes, but for the man that's watching, what does that say about your mental state if you get a rise out of kicking bitches out?